What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. Today, it is time for the Week 23 Premier League predictions. And I have to say, Week 22 was probably the hardest to predict that we've had this entire season. It was a tough week for everybody. I do just want to give a shout out, however, to the new members of the TF90 Super Tipsters Members Club that joined since the last episode. Tessa De Marusum, Emmy Joffrey, Fadi Azam, Sipo Sitol, Dilip Atipali, Dr. Camilla, Nick Clark, Jim Sam, Rick Wilson, Bial Shuzd, Bobby Moran, Jatinder Singh, Yusresh, Rinjolf Gentland, SPAC Productions, and Project 101. If you want to shout out like all these lovely people here and you want to support the channel, then feel free to click the join button down below or the first link in the description. Like I said, last week was probably the first bad week I would say that I've really had. There weren't any correct scores or anything like that, and it was a very topsy-turvy week, difficult to predict. We had Arsenal, Manchester City, Liverpool, all losing. I mean, that's pretty difficult to predict. You can't expect that. Newcastle failed to win. Chelsea failed to win. Aston Villa lost at home. It was quite difficult to predict. So let's get into this week. I'm actually, for this first one, it's West Ham up against Chelsea. I think the odds are just way too tempting. I know Chelsea look a little bit rough around the edges, but something tells me Chelsea are going to win here. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Chelsea, and my tip is Chelsea to win at 2.23. The odds finally reflecting the poor run of form Chelsea have had in these last few weeks here, but I do think Chelsea are going to be good enough to beat West Ham, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Chelsea. Arsenal, Brentford. Brentford are in absolutely wonderful form. Arsenal, I actually tweeted out on my Twitter account that I didn't expect Arsenal to beat Everton. I said that my gut was telling me away at Goodison Park, new manager, just early kickoff, everything, the stars aligned. It wasn't looking good. I thought maybe it'd be a 1-1 draw. I said I thought it would be a 1-1 draw or a 2-1 win to Everton on the basis that I didn't think Arsenal would fail to score, but they did. And I think Everton deserved the win, and Arsenal looked a little bit rattled. However, this is the Emirates, it's a fortress, and whilst every team in the league has struggled away at Brentford, Arsenal were the only team that haven't. They beat Brentford, I think it was 3-0, comfortably away from home. And at home, I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Arsenal. My tip is Arsenal to win, and I'm bumping up the value to 1.7 by saying under 4.5 goals. So that could be 1-2-3 4-0, 2-1, 3-1. That's a lot of scores that I think are very likely to happen on your side for that pick. I'm going for Arsenal to beat Brentford, get back to winning ways. After that, Crystal Palace up against Brighton. Palace not in the greatest of form. Brighton, brilliant form. Matoma, once again, looking amazing. I think Palace will score, but I think Brighton are going to win. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Brighton. My tip is Brighton to win it evens. You could go for both teams to score over 2.5 goals. There's a lot of goals in Brighton games usually. I was surprised that the Bournemouth game only ended 1-0, but I think Brighton are good enough to beat this Palace side. And if you look at the contrast in form, Palace, 2 points in the last 5. Brighton, 10 points in the last 5. I think it's fair to say Brighton are looking a little bit better right now. After that, it's Fulham up against Nottingham Forest. I think this is going to be a draw. Nottingham Forest are actually the team that have secured the most points in the Premier League, I think, in 2023 so far. They're absolutely smashing it. I'm going to go here for a 1-1 draw. I know Fulham have fallen off a little bit, as you can see here. They drew with Chelsea. They lost to Newcastle and they lost to Tottenham, but those aren't easy fixtures. But Forest looking great. They beat Leeds. Keylor Navas is there, of course. Drew with Bournemouth 1-1, which I predicted, but they beat Leicester and they beat Southampton. I'm going for a 1-1 draw here. My tip is both teams to score at 1.8. After this one, Leicester up against Tottenham. Obviously, congratulations to Harry Kane. I think he's the only player to score 200 goals for a Premier League club in the Premier League. The same Premier League club, which is absolutely amazing. I'm actually going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think it's going to be high scoring. I think that you can be kind of certain of. And obviously, Leicester just got an unbelievable 4-2 victory against Aston Villa. There's going to be goals. My tip is both teams to score at 1.61. This could be 1-1, could be 3-1 to either side. I think both teams to score is very, very likely. And that way you don't have to look at the result. Tottenham should win, but you never know. They lost a bunch of games at home and then they beat Manchester City. So you never do know with Tottenham. Southampton, Wolves. Southampton going from strength to strength in terms of trying to get back to the Championship. And Wolves getting an unbelievable victory against Liverpool. I'm going for the Wolves Classic. 1-0 to Wolves. I think a good look would be draw halftime, Wolves full-time. That would probably be odds of maybe like 6-1 or something. But my tip is going to be Wolves double chance and under 3.5 goals. That allows for 0-0, 1-1, 2-1 to Wolves, and 1-2 or 3-0. I think that unless Southampton win 1-0, that tip is going to come in. So I'm going for a 1-0 win to Wolves. After that, Bournemouth up against Newcastle. Newcastle struggling a little bit to find the back of the net. 1 win in the last 5, as you can see. Only lost 1 game all season, though, however. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win. It's against Bournemouth. I think Newcastle are going to win. There's not going to be many goals, so I'm actually going to go for Newcastle to win to 0 as my tip at 2.37. After that, it's Leeds up against Manchester United. I still, obviously, Man United and Leeds haven't played the fixture. It's currently Tuesday at the time of recording this, so they haven't played their fixture at Old Trafford yet, which I assume Manchester United will win. Casemiro will be missing for both, but Jesse Marsch has been sacked, which, understandable. They sort of had a lot of the ball against Forest, but didn't really do anything with it. So I'm actually going to go for a goal for Leeds because it's at home at Ellen Road. But I do think Man United are just too good. They're going to win. My tip is Man United to win here at these odds. I think that's good. Obviously, the Casemiro thing has affected the odds, made it less likely for Man United to win. Obviously, we don't know if they won at Old Trafford. I assume they did. There's the potential new manager bounce. If they have a manager by then, it's all up in the air. I think Man United are going to win. After this, Man City against Aston Villa. I think it's going to be 3-1 to Manchester City. Haaland is finally going to score again. I say finally like it's been a long time. It hasn't been that long, but by Haaland standards, you know. I'm going for a 3-1 win to Man City. My tip is Man City to win and both teams to score. I'm very, very confident on this one. Very confident. 2.87 odds. Man City win, both teams score. Let's look at the recent fixtures. We got Villa scored twice. Villa scored. Villa scored twice. Villa scored. Villa scored twice. Villa scored. Villa scored twice. So Villa are scoring goals. Man City conceded. They didn't concede to Wolves, but that's Wolves. Conceded twice. Conceded twice. They didn't concede to Chelsea, but it's Chelsea. They conceded to Everton, and they conceded to Leeds. So Man City to win and both teams to score looks like a really good shout for me. And then we have the Merseyside derby at Anfield. Everton, obviously, like I said, the new manager bounce. Sean Dyche coming in. It's gonna be boring. I'm gonna say Liverpool. I want to say Liverpool bounce back and get a 1-0 win, but I'm kind of tempted to change that. So this is my initial prediction. It's 1-0 with a tip of Liverpool to win and under 4.5 goals at 1.8, because that bumps up the odds from 1.5. However, how can you really say it looks like Liverpool are going to win? I know there's recency bias when it comes to Everton because they just beat Arsenal 1-0, and that's all we have to go off. But at Anfield, surely Everton don't get something at Anfield. Maybe 0-0, 1-1. I'm going to stick with 1-0 and say Liverpool under 4.5 goals at 1.8. But genuinely, it wouldn't surprise me if Everton get something here because Liverpool, they look leggy. They look bad. They actually look bad. You know what? I'm going to go 1-1. 1-1. And we'll just say under 3.5 goals a tip. Something like that. I don't know. I might change that. I might go back on that. Liverpool actually look bad. Sometimes in the past, they've been getting a few dodgy results. So you think, it just kind of happens. But this run of games here, they look bad. They were worse than Chelsea, worse than Wolves, worse than Brighton, worse than Brentford. They're getting slapped up. So maybe 1-1. Maybe Everton double chance. It's a difficult one. But there we go. Oh, this game. Didn't know this was part of the equation. I have no idea. I'm an Arsenal fan. I don't want to predict it. I'll do this another time. Oh my goodness. I think both teams score in that game though. So that is going to do it for my predictions. If you did enjoy it, please do drop a like. Subscribe so you don't miss any of the future videos. We're going for 25,000 subscribers this season, which would be great. Champions League is coming up very, very soon. I'm super excited for that. So that is going to do it from me, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.